Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Super Game Brothers podcast. This is episode number 45. My name is David, and I'm joined, like always, by Devin, my brother, the other half of the Super Game Brothers. Not a Brixton boy today. He's primitive worldwide.
I'm primitive worldwide, and also I feel like I'm a 10th of Super Game Brothers. So I don't do any work. I just show up. But here we are.
Hey, you're the talent, and I'm the camera grip. Who's like,
Yeah.
Man, I wish I was as cool as Timothy Chalamet or whatever his name is.
That would be nice.
Yeah, he's
What
cool.
a guy.
How you doing, Dev?
I'm doing good. I've been sick for like 5 days though.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the worst.
It was so fun. I almost had a panic attack one night. Just laying there and you can't breathe. And it's so obnoxious. It went from full-blown congestion to full-blown face leaking everywhere. Like, it was thick, then it was like water. My eyes were doing the thing. And then, like, just head dizziness. It was a lot of fun.
Did you take any meds?
No, I just took my normal daily vitamins and snapped right out of that. Conquered that sickness.
Wow.
It was light work, no reaction.
Nice. We were pretty sick a few weeks ago, and we couldn't get over it, so we went to Costco and bought the Kirkland version of Dayquil and NyQuil. Like Dayquil, I feel like it helps you kind of cough, gets rid of the congestion during the day. NyQuil is some weird magic, voodoo, scary stuff.
I don't know that does it put you to sleep?
Oh, man. And we would, like, take it, and then we'd wake up the next day at, like, noon. And we're like, where are our kids?
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
It like hits you really hard. That's weird. But yeah, that was my first experience with NyQuil. It's crazy. It was the pill version. I don't know if there's a difference between the liquid and the pill version, but yeah.
Interesting.
So if you want one of those, I've got a couple.
I don't know that I do. I sleep till noon just fine.
Yeah, Devin doesn't need NyQuil for that.
I did something to my computer. So as you know, through the streaming years, we crash every day. We crash a lot of PC issues. And my normal clock ratio for my CPU is 3700 hertz or something. Okay. I don't know what that means, but that's what its default setting is. I ramped it to 5000.
Oh, is that called overclocking?
So I had overclocked it like 6 months ago.
Wow.
And I was like, maybe that's the problem. So I did a little research and ended up underclocking it. So it runs less than its normal potential. Haven't crashed since.
Really?
I wonder if it's taking less power. Because I think when you overclock, you're supposed to adjust like power management and all this stuff. I didn't. But it's just like perfect now.
It's working great?
Oh, yeah. I would say I'm getting slightly less like frames per second in games and whatnot. But it's such a beefy boy anyways. Yeah. That I don't think it needed all the power.
You're probably right.
So it's running at less temperature. Yeah. You know, it's like eco mode. Yeah. It's kind of nice. Yeah. Anyways.
It's like, driving to church or to like the grocery store in a Lamborghini. You know, you hit 10 miles per hour in that, you can still hear it. But, you're not ruining that engine.
That is very true.
But you look cool on the way. This is a dumb metaphor.
It worked though. Like
that's cool. You heard it here first, folks. Devin's computer never crashing again.
We'll see. We will see.
That's cool. That's cool. Good. Well, I like the color. I like the blue and red.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I wore this shirt because I was gonna work out today and didn't feel good enough, and because it's like super tight and tiny. So thank you for the compliment.
Wow. Yeah. That you have to be buff to wear tight and tiny shirts. So I don't.
I'm a chunky boy right now.
I very much am. I could lose 20 pounds. That would be good for me, I think.
I tell anybody who says, "How do I get into fitness? So give me tips and tricks to get into this. What should I do? What kind of workouts should I do?" I'm like, if you don't care enough about it and it really doesn't matter to you and you're happy with a little chub, then just stay that way because it's exhausting.
Dad bod, baby.
Yeah, who cares? Like, I don't know. Sometimes I do it, I think, because I'm like single and like there's this like hopefulness inside of me that, I'm gonna like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You do weird things. So,
yeah.
But there's a part of me that really doesn't care about it, but I be doing it. So something cares.
Hey, there are worse things to be doing.
Yes.
So that's cool. I got some new golf clubs, Devin.
Did you really?
I did.
Wow.
We'll see. They're my neighbor, who I'm pretty close with. He got a bonus at work, bought himself a nice new pair. Luckily, he's about as tall as I am, and his old pair was also extended, so he gave me those.
What are the odds you like your neighbor and he's your same height and likes the same stuff?
Crazy, huh?
That's insane.
They are the Costco clubs, is what they've kind of been called. They are Callaways. They're pretty nice. But they sold them at Costco. So they might even say like Kirkland on them somewhere. But anyway, so I got a driver, a 5 hybrid, a 3 wood, and then I think 4 or 5 irons, a pitching wedge, sand wedge, 987, maybe a 6, and then I fill in the other irons with the ones I already had. So
are you paying him back through like babysitting his kids, or?
He told me to try him out, and then if I like him, to just keep him. I'm trying him out.
Does he like to want to give more stuff away? We could go over there.
He's an attorney. He's he's doing pretty good. I would imagine.
I think we make our way over there, see what he's not using.
Yeah, he's got a like really cool Suburban over there. Maybe he doesn't need that anymore.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, he's cool. In his garage, he has set up his own golf simulator with like a net, and this is called a Rapsodo, is the launch monitor. It's called. You put it like 6 feet behind you, and it records at like 300 frames per second or something, so that it can like see every step of like where your ball's swinging, and then you put special dots on the ball in special places so it can also track the ball's path and the ball's spin.
Wow.
And even though it's only in the air for like 3 feet before it hits the net, it then simulates onto his iPad like where the ball would have gone, and there's like thousands of courses you can play, and like it's like a virtual driving range. I think I need one of those, but gotta have space, which I don't have, and money, which I also don't have, so never mind. But excited to try the new clubs out. I did go to Topgolf today and try them, and I was terrible today, so it was probably just me. I don't think it was the club's fault at all. Golf's hard. You're like good 1 minute. You're like, I figured it out. I can hit this ball straight every time. And then the next time you swing exactly the same, and you can't hit one straight for the life of you, and you're about to jump off the Topgolf balcony.
That'd be nice. At least you know if you... Yeah, never mind.
Anyways, golf's fun. I like it. I really want to get a subscription to a like really nice simulator place. You can get one for like $150, $200 a month, but they're open like 24/7. And you like put in a code or whatever, so you book a time and then you go in. And the cool thing about them, just like my buddies a couple houses down, but even bigger, they have like the net and then a huge projector on the net as well. So like you hit the projector screen, which is like a special projector screen that won't break by being hit with a golf ball, and then it projects like where the ball would have flown on the screen, and then you can look over at a different screen and see like in slow motion where your club came through, so you can like see if you're coming over the top, or like if you're hitting like a weird slice. You can see all your stats, like was your club face square to path, and what was the spin speed, and that kind of feedback I feel like has got to be helpful, because half the time I swing and I'm like, that one felt exactly the same, but the last one went straight, this one didn't. What's the difference?
Yeah,
it's hard to diagnose.
I would say that's about the only way to really improve in that game.
Yeah, you got to know, because it's just like minuscule differences. But man, it's so fun. I am so into golf right now.
Crazy.
It's a blast. Anyways, Devin, that brings us to Super Movie Brothers. Oh, I only have a couple things, and they're actually both TV shows. But I'm very excited to watch Severance. Loved the first season on Apple TV Plus or whatever it's called. But they're doing weekly releases, and so we've held off on watching any of season 2 yet, because I think they're like 3 episodes in so far. And there's another show on there that we liked quite a bit too that we forgot a second season had come out, and that season is complete. So we started watching that, and that is Silo with Rebecca Ferguson. I think she's the most famous actor in that. Tim Robbins, I guess, is pretty famous too. He's the Shawshank Redemption guy. He's like the head of IT and like the mayor in this silo that protects. It's like a post-apocalyptic thing. These people are in a silo. They don't know why. If you do anything against the law, they send you out of the silo. And supposedly it's like radioactive and you'll die out there in minutes. So you don't want to go out. Or do you? Are they lying to you? Are they telling the truth? That's kind of the whole show. Second season, surprisingly good. I feel like second seasons are hard to get right. Because the first season's just like setting everything up and you're like, oh, this is exciting. And how do they like keep that excitement level trajectory? But yeah, second season we've really enjoyed. It introduces this character, and in the first couple of episodes you can only see like his eyes through a slit in the door. And for like the first 5 minutes I was like, I know this voice and I can recognize those eyes. And
don't tell me who it is after the show. I want to see if I can get it.
Okay, I won't say the name then, but after a couple more minutes, I got it. And lo and behold, in the next episode, they revealed him, and it was who I thought it was. So I was pretty pumped to get that right. He does a great job. He's an actor I really like. And it was kind of cool. I didn't know he was going to be in it. So, have you watched the first season?
I think I've dabbled a little bit in Silo, but we only had Apple TV Plus on our upstairs TV, and I'm always downstairs, so
yeah,
no.
Oh, you should just sign in to my Apple TV Plus on the downstairs TV. But yeah, it's good. I really like it. On Apple TV Plus, I think that show, Ted Lasso, and Severance are probably the best shows. I think they have some sci-fi shows as well that I want to try out, but I haven't done that yet. So watching that, we're probably 8 episodes in of 10, so we're getting close to the end of season 2. It's been excellent. Really like it. There's an actor in it who I've never seen before. He plays the Sheriff Billings. And man, I really like him. I hope that the show kind of helps his career kind of explode, and he's putting more stuff, because I think he does such a good job. Really cool. So, anyways, Silo. It's good. And then still watching Beast Games, and we watch it every Thursday. It's fun. It just reminds me of like, what's that game show that had Howie Mandel and the cases?
Deal or No Deal.
It reminds me of Deal or No Deal, because I think mostly because he likes to bring money out in silver cases.
Oh.
But it also has like the same level of like halfway cheesiness and like building up drama, and it's like that show mixed with Survivor or something. But did you watch the latest episode, Devin?
I've not. I'm probably at least one behind.
Okay. In the latest episode, I won't spoil too much, but I won't tell you who the people are or anything, but there's 10 contestants left. And what he makes them do is they go back to Beast City, and they each have their own house now. They had like 10 houses that had 50 people in each of them at the beginning when 500 were at the city. Now there's 10 houses, 10 people. Calls them all out of their house, and there's a big box in like this center pavilion. And before he shows them what's in the box, he says, I need you all to choose a person to be given the key to house number 1. And they will choose the person that gets the key to house number 2, and then 2 will choose 3, and so on. And being earlier is better. So they choose somebody, that person chooses number 2, that person chooses number 3, till they're all assigned to a house. Then he reveals this box in the middle and says, okay, this box has $1 million in it. It's a big glass box they can see inside of it. Everyone's going to go inside their house, and then in order from houses 1 to 10, you're going to come out of your house and take as much money from this box as you want.
Oof.
And then you'll go back in your house with that money, and then the next person will come out. So, in theory, everyone could come out, take $100,000 each, and they're all kind of treating each other equally.
That's how I would have done it, I think.
Yeah, I'm excited for you to see that. There's a couple contestants who I think are so annoying and such like quiet manipulators, and yeah, I'm really excited for you to watch that one. But I'll just give you this hint: it does not go perfectly like that.
Oh, I'm sure.
But I really liked that. They don't eliminate anyone in the episode. Well, no, yeah, because it closes the last episode. So from those 10, nobody is eliminated during the entire episode. It's kind of the drama around how much they take from that box, which sets up the next event where people will be eliminated. But really good episode. Like it a lot. It was one of my favorites, to be honest. It's hard. If I was number one, knowing, okay, I've got a 1 in 10 chance now, all things being equal, of winning the 5 million pot at the end. Or do I just take this whole million now? They're all going to hate me, the rest of them.
Yeah, and then that'll just fade away.
It'll... I don't know. It's crazy. But anyways, you'll have to watch that. It's good. That's it for me, Devin, that I've been watching here on Super Movie Brothers. Any new movies or TV
I watched
shows for
a
you?
Nicolas Cage movie called Arcadian. Very weird.
Okay.
They're able to go outside during the day, but at night, there's these creatures that like live in the ground.
In the ground?
And they're like knocking on the door and stuff, and these people are trying to figure out what the creatures are, why they're trying to get in, yada yada. And they're really weird looking. And they can like extend their body parts, like their arm will like open and then it'll open again, and then their like finger goes out, and they're like really deformed
Body
things.
horror a little bit?
Yes, really, really weird. They have this long horse-like shaped head thing that usually stays down, and on like the forehead of it, it looks like a scary human face. So that's what I thought they were for a minute.
But then big.
It lifts up, and they're doing like a gator chomp as like a communication thing. And I was like, what is happening? Like as fast as you could imagine, their mouths just and they're fighting them, and it got intense. It was a weird movie.
Is it good? Is it more of like a thriller or like a gory action? Like, what's the balance? Is it like meant to be creepy, or is it like, hey, there's these things here, we're gonna go out and kill them all?
It was mostly like we want to stay away from them and just stay safe.
Okay.
And then it kind of turns into we know a little more, so cash me outside.
Worth a watch or no?
Yeah, I mean, entertaining enough, I would say. There's a couple movies I do want to see. The girl from Heretic and Yellow Jackets is in a new movie called Companion.
Oh, yeah.
No, I think she's like an AI girlfriend or something. She's like not real. I don't know. I don't know much about it.
Yeah.
The reviews have been amazing so far. And then another movie that's in theaters right now that is supposed to be spooky is called Presents.
Like
not
the first
Christmas
person camera.
Presents.
Yeah. Presents, Presence.
Correct, yes. And it has actually, it's like mid-6s on IMDb right now, which for the genre is pretty dang good.
Yeah, it is, to be honest.
And so that's what I'm looking forward to there. But no, I really haven't watched too much lately.
Okay.
I did watch the new season of Night Agent and The Recruit. They're both on Netflix.
Okay.
They're both fine. They're like exactly what you would expect them to be.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Other than that, nothing for me.
All right. Well, that's it for Super Movie Brothers then, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Devin, in the sports world, the biggest trade in probably NBA history happened.
I saw this, yeah.
Luka Doncic being traded from the Mavericks for Anthony Davis to the Lakers. It'll be a crazy few days to see what the fallout is from that. Even tonight, when I was like Topgolf, another trade just broke. Jimmy Butler traded to the Warriors. So he's going to be playing with Steph Curry. And Andrew Wiggins and a few other players from the Warriors going to the Miami Heat. So I think the trade deadline was like tomorrow or next couple days. So a couple crazy trades. My favorite part, we're going to go up to the screen for this, Devin. Throw me that first link right there. My favorite part of this was Luka tweeted this. His missed calls from the night when it was announced, because it was announced really late, like 10:30 p.m. on a Saturday, maybe. And I thought it was pretty funny. Basically, there are like 12 or 15 missed calls from the GM of the Mavericks, and he didn't answer any of them. And then one call from LeBron. He did answer that one. Kind of funny. He had an interview today, I think in Los Angeles at the Lakers place, and I think you could tell he was pretty upset about how it had taken place, because they like didn't tell anyone beforehand. Like Anthony Davis found out while he was hanging out with his wife. Nobody knew. I don't even think they told LeBron, which is pretty crazy since he's almost like part of the coaching staff over there too.
That's weird. As a player, you like get no say.
Yeah, you can be traded. The craziest thing, it's going to be like a blessing for Luka, I think, in the long run. But there's this weird thing in the NBA, which is probably good, but it incentivizes players to stay with the team that they started their contract with. So Luka was eligible for what's called a Supermax contract extension at the end of this year, which would have been the biggest contract ever in NBA history. It was like $385 million over 4 years or something. And like in the last year, it was like $79 million in 1 year, which is nuts. Since he was traded and is no longer on the team that signed his contract, he's no longer eligible for a Supermax extension, which in theory will cost him like tens and tens of millions of dollars. But I saw online there is like a way that the Lakers can structure it where he'll end up making more money in the long run. So at least at first it looked kind of like, oof, mean move to like kick your biggest star out right before he's like eligible for his biggest contract extension. But he'll be fine.
I've got two thoughts. Number one, Luka's living situation is going to get way more expensive. Going from Texas, where it's like, what is it, no income tax or something? There's something weird in Texas. That's going to be expensive. Number two, I'm calling it, they're going to start calling them the Lukers.
Ah, I like it.
Yeah.
I Luke it.
You Luke it?
I Luke it.
Yeah, it's going to happen, trust.
Okay, yeah, I could see that. I also saw that he had just signed on a $15 million house in Texas.
Oh, wow.
Probably because he was expecting the Supermax to go through in the summer and stuff. So a big kind of a crazy thing there. I thought this tweet was kind of funny, though. So anyways. All right, Devin, I think we'll hop into the show then. First up, just want to give a little plug to our Patreon. This is a weekly podcast that we've been doing for almost a year. And we talk about the board games and video games that we are playing, excited for, a little bit about the news and games in crowdfunding. So it's generally a good time. We post one every single week, and you can get access to those posts at least 3 days early on our Patreon. That's patreon.com/supergamebrothers. Please check us out over there. You can follow the Patreon completely for free if you want to see what's going on. But if you do want early access and some of those other features, it does cost a couple dollars a month. You know, very low prices over there, but it does help support the channel and help us keep the lights on. All right, Devin, we're going to jump into our first segment, which is new games to subscription services. There are a couple new games to Board Game Arena, which is a online service that you can play board games on, and it does all of the math and logistics for you. So you can play even very long board games much faster than they would take to play in real life. Actually, I think there might only be one this week since last update, but the Architects of Amatis, I'm not sure exactly how I would pronounce that. But this one is a pretty simple tile placement game where you're placing them in a 3x3 grid with workers on top as well. And if you can, it mentions a tic-tac-toe mechanism here. If you can line up your workers in a line or diagonal, then you get a special bonus. Looks like a pretty simple game from La Butte des Jeux, French publisher. I have a couple of their games, so I wanted to give that one a shout out, and then we'll talk about the Board Game Arena Awards a little bit later. But that is that's the newest game to Board Game Arena. All right, I think that's the same link. Maybe.
Oh, this is the latest games for BGA.
Oh, right. Yeah, let's just scroll down and see if there is. Yeah, we talked about Dead Cells last week, so I think that this Architects, of Amatus is the newest one, unless Knister, which I don't know anything about, is new as well. But anyways, that's it for Board Game Arena. Cool place. Add me on there if you would like. I have this cool charge and chuck, which you can't see.
It's amazing.
Let me see. If I drag that to the center, does that change anything? Doesn't look like it. Okay, never mind then. Oh, you can kind of see it behind my head.
And now for Xbox fans. Ooh.
Yes. Yep. So now we're hopping over to video games. And Devin, I think I accidentally closed the link. My bad.
Oh.
But there are quite a few games coming to Game Pass here in the first half of February 2025. You can see the headliners here on the bottom right. I think if it was me that had a Game Pass, I'd be most excited for Another Crab's Treasure. But Avowed also looks super cool. Kingdom Two Crowns is a cool indie game. Ayuden Chronicles, a cool JRPG. Madden 25. Starfield. You got some big ones. So let's go through those really quickly. Available today, they have Far Cry New Dawn. And then this is, I guess, today when we're reading this, but Another Crab's Treasure is out today. This is one where you play, it's kind of a Souls-like, where you play as a little crab. And I think they stole, like, your hermit shell. The other crabs.
How could they?
And sea creatures. So you gotta beat them up. Get that back. Then Ayuden Chronicle, 100 Heroes, again on the 5th, and Starfield, now on the 5th as well. That's the latest game from the Fallout team at Bethesda. The Skyrim and Fallout team, I guess. Then Madden 25.
Could you name that player?
No, absolutely not.
It's something McCaffrey.
Oh, really?
I think so.
John.
No.
I don't follow the NFL like at all, but I have heard McCaffrey, so that makes sense.
I'm going to say Colin.
Colin McCaffrey. Let's see if it says. Here, it doesn't. Never mind.
Dang it.
Well, I guess we'll never know. His name's Colin to us. Kingdom Two Crowns is a sequel to Kingdom One Crown or something. I can't remember the name of the original, but it's a indie game. I think you're building like your own little kingdom, solo or co-op. Avowed is on the 18th. It is the latest game, I think, from Obsidian. And it looks to be Obsidian. A pretty big RPG. It kind of gives me Skyrim vibes, but, and Fable vibes a little bit. I know this is, since it is the biggest and closest, at least as far as time in the future, Xbox game, a lot of people are excited for Avowed. And then there are a couple others. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black came out last week, kind of a stealth release. And that one is available now on Game Pass as well. And Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which is an excellent game, but only if you have EA Play. So, there you go. If you have Game Pass, that's quite a bit of stuff for the first half of February. We should have a wave 2 in the next couple weeks. Alrighty, on the Epic Games Store, they have a free game like they do every week that you can add to your library. This week it is Beyond Blue, which looks a lot like Endless Ocean. If you remember that Wii game of basically diving and swimming with fish.
I remember that game was a vibe.
It was. I actually really liked it. But games like this, even if they're meant to be peaceful, so freaking scary to me.
It is, yeah. It's not even fun for me.
Yeah, it is hard. I don't know why I have such a fear of the ocean. What's it called? Thalassophobia is one of them. It's either the fear of like really large open space, or maybe it is the ocean itself. I can't remember.
Ugh, I almost can't even watch that video.
Yeah, it's rough. But anyways, add that to your Epic Game Store library. And I think that's all for new games to subscription services. Yes. Should have Prime Gaming's February games next week. But yeah, that's going to do it. So we're going to hop into what we have been playing. I've been playing a couple video games, Devin, this last week. One I've been talking about for a few weeks. Really enjoyed it. I actually finished it. Platinum Trophy number 52 for David. Ender Magnolia Bloom in the Mist, which is the sequel to Ender Lilies. Very pretty Metroidvania game. I really like the art and the music, and I really like the variability of the game. You can create a build that is very different. I rate every game I play on like this app, just so I can remember like when I finished it and if I enjoyed it. I'm crazy. I like data. And I didn't give it like a 10, even though I really loved it. I gave it a 9. I think I really liked it for what it was, but it didn't have kind of like the weight that the first one had, where I really struggled with some bosses, because I feel like this one is even more flexible with the builds that you can create. And I do think that the gun spirits that they allow you to use are very overpowered if you stack them.
Oh, yeah.
So I really didn't struggle with this game, even though I bumped it up to hard. You can bump it past hard, which is cool that they allow you to do that. But as like the most difficult standard difficulty, I still didn't struggle, except for maybe on the last boss with like the true ending. He's a little bit harder than normal. But the game is so excellent in all the other ways that I just am going to accept that it's not kind of looking for that same thing where you lose to a boss 30 times and you finally beat it and you have that sense of like accomplishment. This one is more about the experience, building that build, and just kind of going through the story that way. So I really liked it, but I found it easier than the first one, and I don't think that's necessarily disappointing, but it was just a different feeling, I think. Devin, you played this one a bit too. I think you understand like the different feeling too. Like this isn't Hollow Knight where you're really struggling with some areas.
Yeah, a little bit like less rewarding when you beat bosses
on the first or second try. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But again, like I said, everything else about the game is excellent. Really liked it. So Platinum Trophy 52, really enjoyed it. I would recommend it for sure. It's definitely worth the $20 or whatever it is. I started, after I finished that, just yesterday, I think, the next Metroidvania I wanted to play. So I'm just playing them back to back like a crazy person. And this is Tales of Iron 2, Whiskers of Winter. This is much more going back towards like Hollow Knight difficult, no like weird. I don't know yet because I'm not too far in, but there are bows and arrows and even some like light guns that you can craft. So maybe you can make a crazy build in this too, but it seems like there's a little less of that crazy variability, and it's more about being good with your dodges and your parries, and managing your health and your heals and kind of the spatial awareness. Very, very cool. I like the vibe. I like all the weird names they have for the different animals. Like there were some badgers that came out, and I think they called them stripe snouts because they have like stripes on their noses, and they don't call bats. I can't remember what they call them now. And they're snakes, and they're like called a snap or something. And they're cool names. There's a lot more variety in the enemies you fight. There's like owl enemies, and bats are kind of the main one. And then you're still fighting the frogs, depending on the region you're at, or in, and then spiders and snakes and owls. I might have mentioned one of those a couple of times, but yeah, very cool. It's very different. I like kind of going back to the more traditional dodging and attacking and dodge rolling kind of vibe, where Ender Magnolia had that, but the focus was really on like DPS and with a bit of dodging as well. So we'll see what one I like better. You can craft like tons of different armor sets and focus on like poison or shock damage or fire resistance. You can have a light or a medium or a heavy build. And I really like the artwork. Your character does like kind of move weird. Looks like two pieces of paper like kind of sliding against each other. Kind of odd, but I like the artwork. It's a surprisingly violent. It's only rated T, and like at one part this boss like throws a severed head down the stairs at you, and you're like in the first like few minutes, a person close to you like gets disemboweled and decapitated, and just like wow. But it's so like I don't know, artistic and colorful about it that it's kind of digging that vibe. So anyways, it's really good. Excited to play it some more. Tales of Iron 2. I think that's probably it for me. I've just kind of been on Metroidvania crunch, trying to finish a few of these games out, and I really enjoy them. Again, 2D games are kind of like my comfort food, and there's been a lot of them lately with both of these that came out in January. So that's it for me, Dev.
I've played 2 games.
Cool.
That are not, well, I guess one of them's relatively new, but I have been grinding a little bit of ranked Apex Legends recently. The game feels exactly the same as it used to. It's very, very hard. That game is so difficult for a shooter.
Fast moving.
Oh man, yeah. And people have these like hotkey keybinds, so their characters are hopping like crazy and their movement's fast and they're zinging all. I don't have that. Makes it a little tough, but super fun game. I really like it for a BR.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite BRs. It's rewarding and fun to play strategically, and every character has different abilities, and
yeah,
it's a good time. They're releasing a bunch of new characters and whatnot, but been playing that a little bit, and then I dabbled for a few rounds in Marvel Rivals the other night, and I never thought I would like a game that's like Overwatch, but I had a blast.
Really?
Oh yeah, I didn't even know what I was doing. First round, I'm a healer. I was like the Invisible Woman. She's like kind of a healer, and she got a double jump, and I'm putting shields in front of characters and healing them and moving constantly. And I have a glass mouse pad, which when I bought a glass mouse pad, they said in the description, this is perfect for games like Overwatch. And it is. You get no drag. So you're just in this constant flow of no resistance and aiming and moving. And it's just...
Wow.
It's a vibe, but I actually really enjoyed that.
Did you play it yourself or with like a squad of friends?
I played it with one friend.
Okay.
And he was kind of just giving me the ins and outs of the game. And we just loaded in and just went for it.
Cool.
I was hesitant. I was like, I'm going to be that guy nobody wants on their squad, but I actually was not bottom fragging. I wasn't really struggling.
Yeah.
That bad. I don't think we were against the best players, but
I don't know this term, bottom fragging.
Oh yeah, like bottom of the leaderboard.
Oh.
Top frag, bottom frag. I don't know.
Interesting.
But yeah, I really enjoyed that game. Beautiful game. High frames. But man, they took a couple notes from Stellar Blade that which they maybe need to back off on a little bit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've seen that. Do you know, does it have crossplay with the PlayStation 5 version?
I believe it does.
Okay. I wonder how much of an advantage keyboard and mouse players have, though.
I'll bet if you don't have a scuff controller or back paddles,
yeah,
I'm assuming you're going to struggle compared to KBM quite a bit.
Yeah, I would think so, too. It does look cool. Like, aesthetically, I like the vibe. Like,
it's super cool.
Spider-Man's in there, and, like, Venom's or Hulk's, like, hucking... You can like do these like combo moves with your teammates. It does look very cool. Yeah, I've thought about playing that, so I might have to download it and try it as well. So it is fun to like feel like you're contributing in a game like that. I could like be the healer, for example, and be making a difference, but I don't have to have like the best like sniping ability or whatever.
Right.
Whereas like in Call of Duty, it's at least for most game modes that I've played, it's like whoever's the best shot wins.
Correct. Yeah.
So I do like that, but I have never really gotten into Overwatch or anything like that. They're kind of a time sink, but if you are playing with some friends, I bet it's a fun time sink.
I had a ton of fun. I only played it for like a half hour, but I'm very interested in playing it more. My issue is if I get into a game, the shop in the game looks more and more appealing.
Yeah, it'll get you.
Oh man, those battle passes and it's bad.
They got Devin right where they want him. All right, as for board games, I played a few smaller ones this week. First one is kind of a halfway sequel to a game called Qwix, which is a pretty popular game. This one is called Qwinto. It's just a dice rolling game, and it kind of reminds me of Welcome to, where you, instead of flipping over a card, you're rolling dice, and then you put a number on one of 3 rows, and the numbers have to ascend from left to right. And then there are also some restrictions for, like, columns can't have the same numbers in them, and you're just trying to have the most points. It's a pretty simple one, but I like the decision where there are 3 dice, a purple, a red, and a yellow one. I kept calling it orange, but I don't know, orange, red, whatever it is. And on your turn, you get to decide if you're going to roll 1, 2, or all 3 dice. Then you roll them, see what number you get, and then you can re-roll all of them once if you want to. And then whatever the sum of all of the dice are is the number you have to put on the track. And you can put it on any track that matches the color of one of the dice rolled. So if I only rolled the yellow because I wanted like a lower number, then the number there could only go in yellow, because I only rolled yellow. Pretty simple game that way, but since everybody's putting a number in every turn, even when you're rolling the dice, I'm like invested. I'm wanting you to roll certain things or whatever. Very simple game. It says 15 minutes here on BGG, and that's about right. So, I don't know. A few more plays in that one at least. Want to see if it has some more depth, but not 100% sure yet. I've been talking about this one a lot the last month or so. Played a few more rounds of Trio. This one's just fun. Everyone I've played it with has liked it. You definitely are better at it, though, if you have better memory. You have to basically remember the highest and lowest card that everyone you're playing with has, as well as the position of like about 8 cards in the middle of the board. Like, okay, there was a 2 there, and his highest card was a 7, and his lowest card was a 3, and you're trying to remember that so that you can find 3 of the same number. It's very, very fun. Play in like 5 to 10 minutes for a round. And yeah, it's just great. So, not much more to say about Trio, other than it's super if you want like a card game you can play with anyone. And then I played Deduckto again. This is a deduction game. You have a hand of cards. One is facing out, trying to figure out what that card is it's facing out by playing your cards that are facing you, and then the other players will say yes or no if that card matches in any way with your the one you played. It's cool. It's hard. I'm not very good at it still, but that's Deduckto. All right, that's all the board games I played this week, Devin. I didn't get to play like a big, complex one, which bums me out a little bit, but hey, we'll get some of those in.
I played a board game.
What?
Kind of. Like, it was quick. We were eating dinner, and our brother was like, hey, who wants to play this? And I kind of got roped into it, and I just played it.
I'm excited.
Is it BFF? B? Is that what it is?
Oh, I don't know.
No. Oh, I thought you might know it. So basically what you do is you draw a card, and it says something like, I consider growth in my life to be A, getting a new job, B, doing service. And it has like 4 answers, and you choose one for yourself, and then everyone at the table chooses what they think applies to you the most.
It's kind of like apples to apples-ish. Well, a little different, but yeah.
And we played one round of that, and it was funny. Some of the questions like open your eyes to things. It was like, what does quality time mean to you? And the one that was on my card was like, having fun, doing service, working, having more fun, or something. And is that it?
I don't know.
No, I don't think that's it.
Oh, okay.
But it was just funny. Some of the questions made me really look at my life and go, I'm pathetic in certain areas. And everyone at the table knows it because they all guessed that same answer.
That's funny. So more of like kind of like a social activity game.
Yeah, it was
So
very,
like
very
a
strange.
stats
It was
game,
quick.
yeah.
We cut it in half, so you only had to be right 6 times, and whoever was right 6 times won.
Yeah. Okay. Fun. Look at you.
Look at me go.
You board gamer.
Yeah.
All right. For stuff we're excited about, I'm gonna just mostly be playing Tales of Iron. I don't think there are a lot of new video game releases right now. The big one was what's it called? Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 just came out. I think, yeah, a couple days ago. Actually, that's yesterday. Looking at this calendar here. I don't know what Big Helmet Heroes is. And then Civilization 7 is next week. Tomb Raider 4, 5, and 6 remastered. And then the week after is Avowed and Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. And the week after, Monster Hunter Wilds. I don't think I will play most of those. So I'm on Tales of Iron for the next few weeks until I figure out what is next. Devin, any of those games coming out in February going to be a Devin game? Or I'm looking forward to March here too. I'm very picky with games I'm going to buy at full price, like the big ones. Doom: The Dark Ages does look very cool. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
I did play one other game, actually. It was called, like, Keep Talking or Everybody Explodes or something.
Mm-hmm. I played that.
Oh, you have? So I was just on Google.
Yeah.
With a pamphlet, like, instruction manual or something. And then he actually had the game in front of him and described to me what was on the bomb he was seeing, and I had to go through the instruction manual and help him disarm it.
Yep, I have that game for my PlayStation VR, and the person that's looking at the bomb is in VR and can see the bomb, and they're like, then they're telling everyone else. Like,
yeah, it was really interesting.
It's kind of fun.
I killed it.
As in, you blew up, or you defused that thing?
I understood that game very well. And
oh, nice.
We thrived.
Nice. Yeah, that's a fun one. Very unique, for sure. Let's see. Other than that, board games. I do have one. I'm very pumped to get here. It should be here any day. They said it was going to ship on the 20th of January, I think, or that week. So I imagine my copy's going to be here. And I don't know. I feel like I maybe would have gotten like a shipping notification. So I'm always a little unsure with Kickstarter games. But Dice Throne Missions. I guess it's Marvel Dice. We got the double load here. Marvel Dice Throne Missions should be here very soon. And you choose your Dice Throne characters, and then you play a mission against one of 20 different Marvel villains. And it'll have like one side, defeating mobs, getting to the villain, flip it over. And they're much shorter than Dice Throne Adventures. So I'm very pumped for this one. I have like comes with so many missions and like cool acrylic pieces, like this crisis clock on the side, like magnets to the board. The pieces look really cool. I like Dice Throne a lot. I think this is one that I'll play solo quite a bit, or we could even play it cooperative because it's a cooperative game. Kind of move through the map, fight some baddies. So very excited for that one. Hopefully it's soon. I don't perfectly know. I could probably look at updates here, but I try not to get too sucked into those updates because they're never 100% accurate. All right. But that's it for stuff we're excited for, Devin. So that's going to bring us to the news. So first up,
Mini Nuke.
Oh yeah, here we go. The news mini nuke, where we don't linger too much on anything, but at least some highlights. Capcom had what they called like a spotlight presentation, and they had a few things that they announced here. This is kind of an overview on the PlayStation blog, but they're making a new Onimusha game, which is kind of like it's a game from the PlayStation 2, I think, that had 2 or 3 different games. I think you're like a ninja, kind of halfway, gives me like Ninja Gaiden vibes, but quite a bit different. They're making a new one called Samurai's. That's not it. Called Way of the Sword, and they had a new trailer for that. So if you want to watch that full trailer, you can. They show like a new character or a few new characters, new area. Comes out next year in 2026. But then they announced that a remake of the PlayStation 2 game Onimusha Samurai's Destiny will be coming to PlayStation 4 this year in 2025. I think that was the second one in like the Onimusha series. It's probably its own standalone story, or they probably would have started with the first one. But anyways, so an Onimusha remaster this year, new game in the series next year, and then they showed some new stuff for Monster Hunter Wilds. I think maybe I missed something. No, I think that's it. A new area, a couple new monsters, I think, and then an upcoming second open beta test if you want to join that, where you can. It says it will include new features such as an advanced quest with the game's flagship monster, Arkveld. Flagship monster, huh? So they like some monsters more than others.
Don't hate me for this, but throwing out too many beta tests for your game, I feel like could be detrimental. And
you got to be careful, yeah.
You do. It made me not want to buy the game. I was like, I don't need to play this.
Yeah, I feel like a beta test for a game like this that takes so much time investment to like get into and get your build, and I feel like the 3 hours or whatever it gave you was not enough time to even let you know if you liked it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I would like it, but my initial thoughts were, I don't think I'll buy this game.
Yeah.
Which was sad because I was excited to try it.
Yeah. Very popular series. I just haven't gotten into one either.
I'd rather play this.
Yeah.
Capcom Fighting Collection 2.
Yep. They had the Capcom Fighting Collection first one come out, I think, last year. And this is number 2, launches May 16th. And it is how many games? Does it say here? I thought it would tell me the number, but I guess they're listed here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 classic Capcom fighting games in this collection. You got Capcom vs. SNK Millennium Fight 2000 Pro, Capcom vs. SNK 2 Mark of the Millennium 2001, Capcom Fighting Evolution, Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper, Power Stone, Power Stone 2, Project Justice, and Plasma Sword Nightmare of Bill Stein.
Wow.
I'm not into the fighting game community like at all, but Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and Street Fighter 2, I think, are like both like amazing. And I think these are like some of the lesser known ones a little bit, but some people just love that genre. And so there's a bunch more games coming for you the day before my birthday.
I respect it. I just need a little more in game sometimes. I like to be able to run around and, not just move left and right and up and down.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Like, I really like games like Rocket League that are like ultra competitive and you're trying to like outwit the other players. But in like a fighter, I feel like there's, I don't know, it's like, maybe I don't understand the genre like at all, but I feel like it's less about like the flow and the creativity of like the 3D space in Rocket League, where you're trying to like, oh, he's going this way, I'm gonna go up on the wall or something, to try and cut him off or whatever. I'm sure there are things like that in fighting games, but it sometimes feels like this is the best combo and for this character, and this is the best combo for this character, and like the centimeters of spacing left and right is like all that you're like the highest tier players are fighting over. But I don't know. Very cool looking games though. I like the aesthetic. All right, so they had that spotlight presentation with a few things there. Next up, there were a couple new Xbox games. Well, I guess they're old, but a couple Xbox games announced for the PlayStation 5 in the last week. First up is one I'm pretty excited about, and this is Forza Horizon 5. There's no date yet, but it's coming out this spring, so I would imagine in the next couple of months. Forza Horizon series is very, very popular. It's basically, if you have Forza, which is like Gran Turismo, super like simulation, hardcore racing, this is not that. This is arcadey racing, and let's race across an entire continent, and I don't have to race on the road, and we're going over here and doing crazy things. I know they had a DLC pack for either 3 or 4, or maybe it was 5, that was like Hot Wheels focused, and you could like build your own Hot Wheels tracks that then like connect with the world and stuff. So just like a more creative arcadey racing game. I'm excited to check it out. I like arcade racers when they're like, when the racing mechanics also have a little bit of depth. Like Project Gotham Racing and Drive Club are my 2 favorite racing games, I think. And so I hope that this one, with its big assortment of cars, has like some pretty good racing simulation, even though it's an arcade game. That's the balance that David likes. All right, other than Forza Horizon 5, there are two others. They are Age of Mythology Retold and Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition are coming out in March and this spring. So that's 3 Xbox Game Studios games coming to PlayStation here in the spring. Kind of crazy. There's rumors of like a Gears of War remaster and Halo 1 remaster and all kinds of other games coming over soon too. So this year might be crazy with games coming over, which as someone who plays on PlayStation, I'm pumped about. And I think Microsoft is also pumped to sell them all to me. So
I bet they are.
Yeah. Okay, Devin, what's going on with Bloodborne?
I don't know, but I'm here for it.
In a weird week, PlayStation has issued like a, what do they call it? Like a copyright takedown. I think they call it a DMCA takedown for not just one thing, but 2 things Bloodborne related. So on January 31st, IGN posted this, that there's an unofficial Bloodborne 60 frames per second patch that's been out for 4 years, and Sony has for some reason not cared about it. But on January 31st, it was hit with a take this down now, or our legal team will come after you, basically. Which is kind of weird in a vacuum, but made even weirder because then like 4 days later, this other thing called Bloodborne PlayStation 1 demake, they basically like downgrade the graphics to PlayStation 1 graphics of Bloodborne, has also now been hit with a takedown notice from Sony. There are also some rumors that they're going to have a state of play next week. This might be Bloodborne Copium talking, but is there going to be a Bloodborne announcement next week? That would be a very, to say what the kids say, that would be a hype moment.
It'd be super hype.
But I don't know. People that love Bloodborne have wanted this for so long. It seems like they would have done it by now if they were going to. So I don't know what's going on. But that's a weird couple of coincidences, in my opinion. Devin, would you play a PlayStation 5 version of Bloodborne at 60 frames if they wanted to sell it to you for $70?
I've played through the game like 3 times now. It's my all-time favorite game. It's so good, I could just live in the world. I honestly want to just go into one of the homes where they talk to me through the windows and have a weird meal with a local in that world. But I don't know. I don't know that I need it. I just want a new game, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. Bloodborne 2 would be much more exciting to me than a remake of the first one, even though I really like the first one. And I don't know who would be doing it, since we just found out that Blue Point, who remade Demon Souls, has been working on a God of War live service game last week that was then canceled. So they're going to be years away from finishing whatever they're going to start. Anyway, so we'll see if that is something or nothing. I hope it's something. We'll see. Next up, game just released yesterday, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and it sold 1 million copies in its first day. I think that's a big success for them, so I hope that they all make a lot of money over there. It's supposed to be a very cool game. I've seen some clips of it. It's very like I don't even know, janky's not the right word, but like they're like going for realism, and so like doing anything in the game is kind of like a slog, but it's like that's kind of its shtick. That's what makes it unique. It's supposed to be really cool. I haven't played the first one, but might be worth trying. So Kingdom Come Deliverance sales update, and then there was also a update on Nintendo hardware given during, I think, like their financial review. The Switch has now sold over 150 million units. This seems to be why Sony, just like a few months ago, said, well, the PlayStation 2 has sold 155 now. They don't want the Switch to sell more than it, but it's probably going to. Kind of crazy how much software it sold. 1.2 1.359 billion games sold there, which is nuts. So you can see the difference even on the Wii. Like, didn't sell as many games. Obviously, it didn't sell as many units either. But like the Nintendo DS did sell more units, but fewer games. So kind of cool. I just kind of looking back, GameCube at 21.7, Nintendo 64 at almost 33, Game Boy Advance at 81 million. I had one of those in the see-through purple. Wii 101, DS 154, 3DS 76, Wii U. I'm one of the 13 people that bought those. Yeah, just a boring update there, but Switch is crushing it. Switch 2 probably going to be a behemoth. And then wrapping up some sales stuff here. Black Myth Wukong has now sold 25 million copies since launch. I think the last update was 20. So they're just continuing to make so much money. They sold it for $60 each. What's 25 times 60, Devin? Here we go.
25 times 60. Oh, it's 100 and 1,500.
15, so that's $1.5 billion.
Did I do the math right? 25 times. Let me see. Did you say 60?
I got a calculator right here. We got 25 million times 60. You're right, $1.5 billion. Obviously, they don't make all of that. They would make 70% because they have to pay 30% to Steam or to Sony or to Xbox. So if we times that times 0.7, so they'll get 70%. Companies probably made about $1 billion.
Wow. Well done.
Yeah. Obviously, they have marketing and costs and crap, but that's a lot of money. 25 million copies is a humongous success. All right. A couple of other smaller things. EA has said that the next Battlefield game is going to come out before April 2026. So within like the next year-ish. And there's going to be a Battlefield Labs like community program, and they showed like 10 seconds of this pre-alpha gameplay footage in this clip that is so hectic to watch. You can't really tell what's going on, I think on purpose, but the last Battlefield game, what was it called, 2048 or something? I feel like it was a huge, not bomb, but like people didn't like it, and like a really bad. So I hope that this one's good for them. I really liked Battlefield 3. I thought it was like very cool back in the day. Like, wow, this has 64 players on a map, where like Call of Duty had like 16 at the time or whatever. It felt different. You're like in airplanes, all of a sudden buildings are falling down. I like the vibe, but it's almost too crazy because of that, where people that are really good at the game, they know like, okay, this wall will crumble in this way, and if I know how to like throw an airplane at a building, or I don't know. I feel like the skill ceiling in this one is more about like learning the maps. Maybe not. Maybe I'm talking falsities over here, but
have you ever played BattleBit?
No.
Do you know what it is?
I don't.
It looks like Minecraft, but it's like Battlefield.
Oh, wow.
Like the graphics look just like Minecraft, and you run around and it's like 120 v 120, and it's just war.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's honestly way fun.
Yeah. I like the idea. But some first-person shooters just kind of blend together for me sometimes. So hopefully this one can stand out a little bit. Lots of competition in that arena. All right, that's it for video game news. Other than there is I guess this isn't video game related. In movie news, there's a new trailer for Jurassic World Rebirth. I'm not going to pull the trailer up because that is the thing that seems to most often get our videos flagged for copyright issues. So if you want to watch a Jurassic World Rebirth trailer, the stars are Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, and Jonathan Bailey. I think it has a cool vibe, but I've only seen a few screenshots. I haven't watched the trailer yet. Comes out on July 2nd. Really love Jurassic Park, the first one.
Mm-hmm. Same.
I even like the second one. Okay, and Jurassic Park 3 I liked growing up as a kid. I've struggled with some of the other ones, though. Chris Pratt, I feel like, does a pretty good job in them, but when he's like riding a motorcycle next to all the velociraptors as like his buddies. I'm just like, what are we doing? I like the vibe of the first one. It's more like a horror movie. Like the kids hiding in that kitchen from those velociraptors. Like,
Oh yeah.
such great, like scariness. I can talk.
That guy's in the bathroom stall in the middle of the parking lot.
Mm-hmm. T-Rex eats him off there. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, there'll be no bathroom breaks.
Not in my park. So, anyways, check that out as well. All right, board game news, not a lot, but I did want to just highlight the winners of the Board Game Arena Awards in 2025. So the users on Board Game Arena voted for the games that, where is it? Here? And here. There we go. That they thought were the best in, is it 5 categories? Yeah, best casual game, regular game, expert game, 2-player game, and animals game. I guess game with animal themes. There are a lot of those, so I guess that kind of makes sense to be a category. So the winners for those are Castle Combo won the casual game, a very popular game this year, just barely over Captain Flip, which won a lot of awards last year. So that makes sense. I've actually not played either one of those yet, but they are on my to-play list. Best regular game was Harmonies by quite a margin. That's an excellent one. I have it behind me on the shelf. Super game. Love it. It's kind of replaced Azul for me. Best expert game is one I really want to try called Darwin's Journey. We talked about an expansion to that game on Kickstarter just last week. And best 2-player game, Splendor Duel. Very popular game. I imagine and then Altered actually was number 2. If Duel for Middle Earth had come out this year on here, I think it probably would have won. But yeah, Splendor Duel. Man, 63% of the vote there. Kind of crazy. And best animals game, The Wolves. I have that one too in the closet. Just barely beat Mountain Goats, which I also have. Which beat New York Zoo, which I've almost bought a few times. I don't have that one. Which barely beat Cat in the Box, which I also have. So I got 3 of those. How many of these up here do I have? I don't have any of those ones. I have Age of Innovation from those 4. And I have Ares Expedition, Terraforming Mars, not the base one. I had Cartographers, sold that. Do have Harmonies. And don't have any of those. So there you go. Just a little humble brag there. All right, so that's it for the Board Game Arena Awards. I thought it was just kind of fun to see what people voted for that play on there a lot. Again, very cool platform. You can play totally for free. Can't start every game for free. Some of them are premium. You have to be like the $5 a month premium players in order to start a table, but you can join a table if like your friend is premium, totally for free. So very cool system. All right, Devin, I think that's going to bring us to a crowdfunding corner. So if you want to send me that first link, I'm going to get my start of a video voice ready, and we're going to have a fake restart here in the middle. And this will be fun. Okay, Devin, crowdfunding corner for the week of February. I think this will be 7th when this goes live. There are, I think, 6 projects here that I wanted to give a shout out that are ending in like the next 5 to, 14 days. And I think all of them this week are on Kickstarter, but sometimes they're on GameFound or other crowdfunding platforms. This first one is a trilogy of expansions. This company, Garfield Games, they make games so fast, I don't even know how anyone keeps up with them. They kind of make them in trilogies as well, where they had Architects of the West Kingdom, Paladins of the West Kingdom, and is it Scholars of the West Kingdom? I can't remember. I have Architects, but I don't have the other 2. Those came out in like a boom, boom, boom period. And then they have a whole other trilogy before that. And then the South Tigris trilogy already has Wayfarers and Scholars and Inventors out. Anyways, this campaign is for an expansion for all 3 of those games and like a campaign expansion that ties all three of them together. Kind of crazy. I don't have any of those three yet. I'm so far behind on Garfield stuff, but they do really excellent games. So I am not the right person to talk about this expansion, but if you like their games, they have a very, I wouldn't say cult following, a very dedicated following of people that play and buy their games. So you probably already know if you're interested in this one or not. I do like the artwork. They use this same artist in most of their games. I think his nickname is Demicho, and he does very cool artwork, and they kind of stick to a similar iconography style. So if you've played one of their games, you'll probably understand like most of the iconography going into the next one. You'll still have to read the rulebook. They're pretty complex games, but I think that's a cool thing that they do. So anyways, check out this campaign if you like Garfield games and have any of the South Tigris trilogy, because there's an expansion for each and that campaign expansion. You can see a lot of people like them, and there's 6 days left, so it ends on February 12th. So that's this coming Wednesday. Okay, next up is a game called Baghdad. This is from Alley Cat Games, who I really like them as a publisher. They make really cool games, or publish them. This game is designed by Fabio Lopiano, and I'm not going to pronounce his name right, but I think it's Nestore Mangone. Especially Lopiano, super famous board game designer, and this is a pretty complex game. I think Alley Cat Games puts it in their advanced line, so it's definitely not simple. But you are trying to be like the best ruler, I think, of Baghdad, and you're building up this like central building and moving along this giant circular board. Has a very cool vibe. I wanted to show the board here. I think it's pretty cool looking. I like a circular board for some reason. Make it a circle, and I'm like, oh, it's not a square.
Take my credit card.
Yeah. And then I give them my circular credit card.
Wonderful.
Yeah. I don't know too much more about this game, but I think it looks very cool. With their games, I usually wait for retail, but you won't get the fancy stuff and like the included expansion. But most of their games do come to retail. I just can't kickstart everything. I don't have enough money, you know. So very cool looking game. Kind of a unique theme too, in my opinion. All right. That's I think all I wanted to say about this one. I'm just here's some of the other games they've designed: Autobahn, Shackleton Base, and now Baghdad. So I'm just kind of scrolling at this point. We're gonna go back up to the top. This one ends on the 13th on Kickstarter. That is Baghdad. Okay, this next one I hadn't even seen before today, and I am very, I don't know if surprised or impressed by how many people are backing. It almost says 11,000 backers.
Wow.
So almost $600,000. This game is called A Place for All My Books, and it's a pretty simple but kind of cool and mostly cute looking game from a company called Smirk and Dagger. They make really cool games, so this game might be getting hype just from the publisher. I think they are pretty well liked. In this game, you are kind of an introvert person that likes books a lot, and you will spend a lot of your time organizing your book collection on like your cabinets with these cool looking book pieces. But then when you have kind of built up enough energy, I think they even show it here as like your social battery. Again, very introverted thing to say, which is kind of how I operate, but I've spent enough time inside, I'm feeling like recharged. Then you can send your player out of their house, out to like the bookstore to buy new books, or the library, to the exchange, or to the shop to do different things. But everything you do out there costs some of that social battery. And so it eventually will like run back down, and then you have to go back home, which is both clever as a gameplay like mechanism, where you can only do a few things out of the house before you have to go back and organize your and read your books, I guess. But it's kind of also clever how it matches like how introverts generally recharge their batteries, which is by not recharged by other people, but recharged by kind of seclusion and organization and that kind of thing. I think it looks really cool. Are those cool
book
artwork?
meeples?
Yeah, what would you call those?
Oh my goodness, I want one of those
Yeah,
just to
cool.
carry around with me.
Yeah, they're pretty little, but they look cool. They look nice when they're stacked. There's 2 different versions of this game. The regular version is $35, and its pieces are just slightly less fancy. And then they have one for, what is it, 45 or 50? Yeah, $50. And then the box actually looks like a, let me see if we got the deluxe edition right here. I can probably, yeah, it looks like a book. Has like a magnetic clasp and looks like pages, and like it has a binding. Has a premium gold foil print on those wooden pieces. And then some wooden pieces here that are probably cardboard in the base one. But I think those are the main differences. Let's go look at the standard. Oh, it also has a sleeve, I guess. Standard edition here. The books still look cool. It's just not gold foil, but it still has like printing heat transfer on it. And then, yeah, these are all cardboard punch outs, and there's no like print on the cloth bag and print on the meeples and stuff. So a little bit less fancy, but still looks pretty good. So pretty simple game, but I do like the like organization of the books. There's like some, not like a contract, but some projects you're trying to complete that's like have a book of, oh yeah, this one, have 6 books of each color, or on a single square have like 3 of the same color stacked or whatever. So it's kind of a spatial puzzle of how you stack your books at home as well before you go out and get new ones and stuff. Anyways, that is a place for all my books. It's doing very well on Kickstarter. Also ends on Thursday, the 17th. That's not right. In 7 days on the 13th. Okay, next up is a bundle project from Allplay with 3 different games. Twinkle Twinkle, Merchants of Andromeda, from the good doctor
Reiner Knizia.
That's right, Devin knows his name. And Waddle. So let's take a look at these real quick. There's 3 games in this bundle, and if you get them all in their $97 bundle, you get every upgrade and expansion that they're including here included as well, which I think they value at like $45 or something. So Twinkle Twinkle is this first game. In this one, you are, well, we'll look at how each of them play in just a sec. Here is Merchants of Andromeda, and here is Waddle. And you can see like for $7 extra bucks, you can get like mini expansions for the different games. And what is this? Oh, a $19 expansion. Or if you pay $97, which is I think they say $45 less. Yeah, 45. Then you get all that stuff and don't have to pay for the expansion stuff. Anyways, so the 3 different games. First one is called Twinkle Twinkle. If I click here, where do you take me? Yeah, Twinkle Twinkle. 30 minutes, 1 to 4 players. You are drafting these cool transparent like tiles, and you'll fill your star chart with like planets and moons and satellites and stars and stuff. It has a cool looking color palette and vibe. I don't know too much more about how the game plays, but it does look very cool. I like the see-through tiles. Very what's the word I'm looking for? It's very board game vein of me to judge a game by its transparent tiles.
How could you?
But they do look very cool. Okay, next game is, wow, there's a lot here. Why we love Twinkle Twinkle. Merchants of Andromeda. This is the one by Reiner Knizia. And in this game, it says you're trying to get the most money, and you do that by drawing cards. You'll choose to discard one, keep one, or not one, I guess. Discard, keep, or auction them. And then you'll play different mini games it mentions on different sections of the board, all in the goal of getting the most money here. So let's just look at this little graphic here. Choose a resource action, and auction. So maybe you do just get to put one card in each. And then it looks like you use a timer. And this is called a Dutch auction, I think, where basically the longer you stay in the auction, the more you have to pay, I think. Or wait, no, sorry, this is reversed. The longer you wait, the cheaper you pay. And so you don't want anyone else to, like, by you staying in too long, you're allowing someone else to get it cheaper. But if it is going long, you don't want to be the one that go first, because then you could get something cheap. Is kind of the tension there. Anyways, so lots going on with these little boards. Dr. Knizia does a lot of auction games that people really love. I don't know if this is a reworking of an earlier game of his, but it doesn't mention that, I don't think, if it is. Anyways, that's Merchants of Andromeda. And then the third one is called Waddle. And where are you at? Right here. I do like penguins. And I do like their line of games that fit in this size of box. I have probably 4 of them. And in this one, you're trying to place your penguins on these tiles. I guess real quick, I do like this line. They have our 1 minute to teach line, which includes mountain goats, which I have, lure, which I don't have, but I do want to get that one. And you're placing out tiles, then you're placing out your penguin meeples, and then I do like the turn order track is these 2 marble tracks. And let me see. So you put the penguins out, trying to get them next to fish to catch fish points. And then once you pass, then you take your marble from one track, put it in the next track, and you'll be first in the next round. So the earlier you pass, you're going to be first in the next round. But once you pass, you don't get to take any more actions in that round. So a bit of a balance there. A lot of games do that. And then you score waddles. So anyways, looks like a cute little tiny game to add to their little box line. I think this campaign looks really cool. It's a ways to scroll up here to the top, but this one is on Kickstarter. And this might give you a headache from all the scrolling until also Thursday. A lot of them ending on Thursday, February 13th. Whew, a couple more, Devin, I think.
I didn't want to send over. Let's try again.
Doesn't like us. The next one is probably the 4th in a series made by Button Shy Games, and they make little wallet games. I have quite a few of theirs. Most of their games come in a little wallet, and they try to make the game play in 18 cards, is kind of their shtick. Their most popular game is called Sprawlopolis, and in the game you put 15 of the 18 cards down trying to make a good city, and the other 3 cards you draw first at the beginning, and they'll tell you what you're trying to score for on the back during that game. So whichever 3 you get varies from game to game, and they kind of determine, okay, I'm trying to have these grouped next to these, and long rows or short rows or this or blah, blah, blah. And then you use the other 15 cards that you draw one at a time, I think, to build out a cool little city. They've had Sprawlopolis and Agropolis and Natureopolis and Combopolis, and then this one is Casinopolis, about a similar idea, just with the casino vibe and slightly different rules. So they're very cool. I do like their games, especially if you play games solo or travel a lot. Putting one in your pocket is pretty cool. So I wanted to give that a shout out. I'm sure most people have heard of either Sprawlopolis or any of the others I've named. So you'll know if you're interested in that. That one is on Kickstarter until Saturday, the 15th. All right, a company from, I can't remember where Grail Games is from. Are they from Australia or New Zealand? Australia, yeah. I really like them as a company. They make smaller games. I just got one from them called Snowcrest 3 months ago, and I really liked it. And they are, I think, relaunching a line they've done before called their Pocket Game Collection. And this is 3 games in these small boxes. that you can get from them. They are such a small publisher that sometimes their games don't come to like retail later, but some of them do as well. The 3 games are Farmhand, and this one is a trick-taking game where the cards have values from, I think, 1 to... Doesn't look like all the suits are actually 1 to 7, but they're different suits. The unique part of this one is you're trying to win a certain number of tricks, but the backs of the cards show the suit of the card, but not the number. So everyone knows from the backs of your cards what suits you have, just not what numbers. Which is probably makes it a bit more thinky in your head, where you're trying to like remember which numbers have been played, and then you can see which suits everyone has. Kind of cool. Then fjords here, you're trying to build a cool little fjord, and then with these little tiles. And I think it says then you, where does it say? You begin from a longhouse you place during phase 1 and will walk the landscape, claiming as much of the plains and cliffs as possible, and kind of like a route, area control kind of thing there. Again, very cool, small box. Fits in, a little hard to tell what the dimensions are on that, but it looks like a matchbox size. I don't know. And then the last one is also a trick-taking game, but for 2 players, which is kind of a rare genre, but there are quite a few. So that doesn't make any sense. I said rare, then quite a few. There are some, maybe is a better way to say that. So if you want to get any of those games from Grail Games, you can do that on Kickstarter until, I think it might also be the 15th. Am I correct? Nope, Monday, February 17th. Is there any more, Devin, or was that the last one for us this week?
That is it.
That was the last one. So out of those 6 projects, Devin, that we just looked at, which one is your pick of the week for February 7th, 2025?
It was a pretty easy choice this week.
Was it?
For me.
Okay.
Yeah, by a long shot. I don't know why, but A Place for All My Books takes the cake for me.
Okay. I do think that one looks very cool. I want to see if it would pop back up. Here we go. Place for All My Books. I love how the books look.
Agreed.
And
it just felt homey and nice, and I want to be there.
It's true. Sometimes a game just has that kind of vibe. It kind of reminds me of a Flamecraft or something, where it's like, nobody here is going to hurt me. It's just kind of like fun. We're all doing something together. And if I do it slightly better than you during scoring, then hooray. But everyone had fun, even if they didn't win. You know, kind of a happy vibe. Definitely has that. Cool. I think this is a tough one for me. I do think that one that you chose is a good one. I think my pick is going to go to the All Play bundle, though, with those 3 games. I feel like they do a really great job of making, especially in their, well, a lot of game in a small box is kind of their shtick for especially the smaller ones, but even the games that come in slightly bigger boxes. And they've had a bit of a partnership with the Good Doctor lately. They reprinted Through the Desert and maybe one other of his games. So I'm looking at this one very closely. I'm not sure if I want all 3 of them, but I do think I want Merchants of Andromeda and Waddle. But then you're like, okay, 39, so you're almost 40 plus 20, so you're at 60, 58, $8. And if I wanted the expansions, I'm like at 70. Like, okay, do I just do 97 to get all 3 plus all these bonus things? Then if I was to resell it, I'd make more. I don't know. These questions that I go through in my mind are kind of crazy. They also do this cool thing. If you do the all-in bundle, they send you this wooden medallion. Has a unique code on the back. And that code will let you get one of their smaller games for free later. So they know how to hook you.
They know what they're doing.
They do. They definitely do. But I think they do a lot right over there. That's going to be my pick of the week. And that's it for Crowdfunding Corner here for the week of February 7th, 2025. thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week for number 46. Cool. Devin, well, that is going to do it for episode 45 of the Super Game Brothers podcast. Thanks so much for watching, listening, checking us out on Patreon at patreon.com/supergamebrothers. And yeah, Devin, anything you want to say to the people before we go?
Y'all are so cool.
Y'all are so cool. See you next week for episode 46. Till then. See you.